long overdue second game of Critical Engagement tournament, Dropzone 3 games tournament. This time it's again Alex's PHR, sorry I don't have his list. Here's my list, and this objective is to identify 2 pieces of intel, so then we can move on to the objectives which are in the center of the map. And on to turn 1, so as you would expect, we deployed both all our infantry into the nearby buildings so we could get or try to identify 2 pieces of intel. I focus on both sides as opposed to the center building, whilst Alex deploys on all 3 buildings on his side. During turn 2, my Annihilator and my Harbinger deploy on the left side. I move the Prowlers aggressively on his left side as well. I find 1 piece of intel and move my Destroyers onto the central building in front of the Annihilator. Second squad of Prowlers gets deployed on the central building there, just in front of his enemy line, or my enemy lines. And then I made a mistake, I didn't know a rule, but I rushed my second squad of Destroyers into that building there with his troops. But I did not know, and I learned that if that troop or the enemy troop has not activated that turn, they can escape this turn. So that's what he does, and then he proceeds to shoot down the building. It's not gonna last, and I'm not gonna spoil it, but you know what's gonna happen. My Age 1 unit finds the second piece of intel and proceed to grab the objective in the right center building. Turn 3, time to put some pressure on PHR. I move my Marauders closer to shoot at his ground units. On the right there you can see the rubble, that's the building where the Destroyers were, and they did not survive. Unfortunately the Marauders don't do much, but then I move the Harbinger forward, deploy the Ravagers to provide a air threat for his dropships. In the center, the Desolator and the squad of Hunters move forward, and the Age 1s. On turn 4 I get initiative. I use my Ravagers to destroy one of his transport on the right hand side there, leaving his troops on the ground. I move my Intruders to shoot at the troops and cause a few damage. I shift then my units to get some cover and start to prepare positioning the Desolator for a huge strike. Whilst at the same time Alex take the center building and contest the left building where I get my Destroyers. My Age 1s on the right building can't find the objective and get pounded under fire from PHR onto the building, who gets 11 damage already, and finally get assaulted by the remaining squad of PHR infantry. On turn 5 I focus a lot of fire on the right building, which is already well damaged, and proceed to cause a few wounds on the infantry units. I carry on to do that repeatedly with most of my units, including the Desolator, focus fire, and end up cleaning that building. It's still standing, but the units inside are destroyed. On the left side there, the combat goes on. First I discover the objective, which is a big thing. Then my destroy units fight with, I believe, the Sirens, and they cause a few wounds to the Siren, destroy 1 base. I then use the card that allows me to voluntarily fail moral check. I escape the building, jump into my transport, and fly up. So that's 1 objective secure there. You'd have noticed as well that the central building has been completely cleaned by fire from the Hunters and I believe the Annihilator. And then on to turn 6 I dash the Desolator forward, trying to get a big AoE down there. Alex's PHR shot down the Intruder with the Destroyers, unfortunately, and it drops on the ground. Unfortunately for the PHR, I had a unit of Hunters nearby, and they move and control that objective. So having had the best luck than my opponent, I win by a thread really. I get 1 objective secured. It's not extracted, but it's secured, so I get a point. Alex's PHR do not own or control any objective. So in the end, I win. Sorry for the summary of this battle report. It was a long time ago, and we're learning. So big thing from this battle report is, yeah, if you go into a building and assault an enemy's infantry, if they haven't activated, they can get out, and that's a big deal. I know, and I will not put my destroyers at arm's range anymore like that. Hope you enjoy. Next, the third and final battle of this